Good morning, our wonderful CLMS first years, and a heartfelt welcome to UKZN. My name's Ishara Maharaj, and it is truly a pleasure to address you today on behalf of CLMS Student Support Services alongside my dedicated team. We are so excited to spend this time with you as you begin this incredible new chapter of your academic journey. I'm going to be sharing my PowerPoint presentation with you, so please give me a few minutes. So once again, a very warm welcome to our CLMS first years. My name's Ishara Maharaj, and we are going to spend the morning with you, the Student Support Services team, or SSS team, and we're very excited to share this time with you. At Student Support Services, I'm going to refer to us as SSS. Our mission is simple yet profound. We are here to support you, to walk alongside you, and to ensure that you never feel alone during your time at UKZN. University life is a thrilling adventure filled with opportunities, challenges, and growth, and we are committed to helping you navigate it successfully. Our goal is to make your experience at UKZN not just rewarding, but truly unforgettable. So I'm delighted to introduce the members of our SSS team who are here to share valuable insights with you today. We're going to have our cameras on as soon as I mention their names. So we have Ms. Norma Makatini, our administrator, who keeps everything running smoothly. We have Ms. Yanga Lufundo, our career development officer, who will guide you through career preparation in the world of work. And our dedicated student counselors, Dr. Margot Sennett-Friedman, a psychologist on the PMB campus, Ms. Nonshlunik Biela, also on the Pietermaritzburg campus, who will be discussing a very important topic in a short while on adjusting to university life. And we also have Ms. Netemba Gwambe, our Durban-based psychologist, who will be sharing insights on gender-based violence, an issue that we must all stand against. So we are here for you, and we can't wait to walk this journey with you. So welcome once again to UKZN. We are so happy to have you here. We want to take a moment to celebrate you, matric class of 2024. Congratulations on your hard work, commitment, and dedication, which have brought you here today. Gaining admission to UKZN is no small feat, and you should be immensely proud of this achievement. So before we go on any further, let's take a moment to acknowledge and honor your success. I hope you all enjoyed that, and I hope you're still singing. I can hear it. It's resounding. Beautiful. So, halala to every single one of you, and congratulations. I want you to take a careful look at this slide today because you might recognize yourself in one of those pictures. And I really want to congratulate you for all of the challenges you've overcome, the disruptions, the uncertainties, not just as a student, but as a citizen of the world. You have overcome COVID-19. And we know what COVID-19 did to each and every one of you. It was not an easy challenge. But you have succeeded. And despite all of the uncertainties. So commend yourself, give yourself a pat on the back and a warm hug. So this week marks the beginning of an exciting new journey, your transition to university life. So as you look at that first picture and reminisce on your school days, recognize that this is a part of yourself that you are leaving behind as you step into this new chapter. And of course, it might bring up or evoke some feelings of sadness, some lovely memories, maybe some sad memories as well. But it's behind you now. You're moving forward. I'm going to go on. So the second picture, as I was mentioning, is actually a picture of law students taking a pledge. And I really want you to think about the pledge that you are taking to yourself today, you are making to yourself today. It's really very important to pledge to be the best version of yourself here at UKZN, to embrace growth, the learning opportunities, and all of the new opportunities that are going to present today. Present in as you move through this journey. The third picture, which unfortunately you can't see, is really that of graduation at UKZN. And this is the way that you're moving towards. You are all here so that eventually you can graduate and move on into a fulfilling career. And we want your future to be filled with possibility, with achievement and new horizons. So really onward and upward. And I want you to affirm this new identity of yours as a UKZN student. So from the moment you registered, you became a UKZN student. So the question is, who are you? So when someone asks you, who are you? Your response is going to be, I'm a UKZN student. So I want you to find your voice with me this morning. Don't hold back. Even if you're alone, even if you're unsure, scream it out loud. Let everyone around you hear it. And if no one is around, let the world hear it anyway. I want you to scream out loud, I am a UKZN student. I can't hear you. Gosh, louder. Ah, there we go. I can hear you now. Wonderful. Okay, we're just imagining these things, okay? Let's just go for it. Come on. I can see you enjoying it. Scream it out louder. Go for it. And now that you've found your unique voice, I want you to really use it. Use it to claim your space as a UKZN student with dignity, integrity, and confidence. Whether you're engaging in online forums, face-to-face discussions, lecture theatres, or even outside the classroom, your voice matters. Ask questions, share your thoughts, engage with your peers, own your space. And when Ms. Gwambi does GBV presentation, the emphasis is to learn to say no with confidence, particularly if someone is forcing you to do something that goes against who you are. Okay? So the emphasis is on voice. And how do you spell voice? So I'm sorry that you can't see this slide, but this is what I've used. I've used voice, V-O-I-C-E, as an acronym here to spell out the first thing, V for vision. Okay, so a wise man once said, start with the end in mind. In other words, have a vision. in terms of where you're going with this degree. Have clarity about where it is taking you. Who are you going to be? What kind of professional are you going to be? What kind of person are you going to be in the world? How are you going to embrace challenges? So remember, you are entering a professional career path. Ultimately, each and every one of you is going to be professional. So we are the College of Professionals. And ultimately, it is through your service that you can make a difference and make your mark in society. So choose today the kind of professional you want to be, and then live up to that choice through your words and your conduct. Now, we're going to take another journey into the imagination. So as Dr. Margot said, close your eyes. This time, I really need you to close your eyes for a moment, and I want you to picture yourself 5 years from now. I can see some of you are peeking. Okay, close your eyes and really build up that imagination. So 5 years from now, you've made it. You're a professional in your chosen field. Where are you working? How are you dressed? How do you interact with your colleagues? Are you hardworking and reliable? Have you stepped out of your comfort zone to grow and develop yourself? Have you reached out to help others along the way? Do you respect the person you've become? Have you stayed true to your values and the professional ethics of your field? And most importantly, are you proud of who you are? And just allow yourself to digest that beautiful picture. Enjoy it. And you can open your eyes now or leave it closed if you'd like. So the vision you have for your future starts now. Every step you take at UKZN will bring you closer to becoming that professional you imagined. So stay focused on your goals and remind yourself why you are here. What about the O in voice? Opportunity. Now, UKZN is full of opportunities to help you grow academically, socially, and personally. Take advantage of them. Learn new skills, join clubs and organizations, develop leadership abilities, play a sport, build a network, and make lifelong friends. How exciting. Are you looking forward to it now, particularly to meeting everyone? Let's look at the I in voice, involvement. Remember that the energy and time that you invest in your university experience matter. So be mindful of how you spend your time. Find that balance. While it's important to enjoy yourself, remember that growth comes from stepping out of your comfort zone and persevering through challenges. What about C in voice? Choices. Every day you make choices that shape your future. The way you think, believe, and act determines the path you take. So always ask the question, are my choices helping me move closer to my vision? Begin to build those good habits now that will support your success. What about the E in voice? Empowerment. So the most successful students are those who take responsibility for their learning and growth. Empower yourself by developing self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and confidence. And I'll expand on that a little bit just now. Take care of your well-being. Nurture your connections with others and prepare yourself for a lifetime of learning, service, and ethical leadership. So now I don't want to say, I don't want you to say, no, we don't want this, but I have a homework exercise for you, okay? And that is to create a vision board. So a vision board is a visual representation of your goals and aspirations. Put your dreams on paper. If you're not a cut and paste kind of person, then just write them down, but write them down somewhere. Write down your career ambitions, your personal growth, the kind of person you want to become, and keep it somewhere you can see every day to remind yourself of the future you're working towards. Because what happens is sometimes university gets hard, it becomes challenging, yes, and you forget about your aspirations, and we don't want you to ever forget them. Okay? So the next slide says, what's your superpower? Yes. Yes, we're going to be talking about superpowers now. And I'd like you to share these in the chat. To thrive and succeed at UKZN, you need to develop certain superpowers. The skills and qualities that will set you up for success, not just in university, but in life. So I want you to take a moment to think, what superpowers do you need to develop to thrive at UKZN? And we're going to do a share now. So I want to see that chat. Let's just go through some of these superpowers because I'm finding them absolutely intriguing. I love this. Dia says, I'm superwoman. Lovely, Dia. Dedication is a superpower that she wants to develop. Putting in a lot of hard work and long hours to achieve my goals. Awesome. So that hard work ethic is coming through. Zara says endurance, time management, adaptability, and consistency. Wow. Beautiful. Invisibility. Okay. I'm unsure about invisibility. Okay. I wonder what you would be doing with that superpower. Okay. Time management, very important skill, very, very important superpower to develop, particularly as you are negotiating this degree. Adaptability, fantastic. Ambition, being dedicated, awesome. Gosh, you're amazing. Okay, so thank you so much for sharing those. And I think each and every one of those is important. Being dedicated, September, well done, yes. Naruto. I think, Batsira, you're going to have to expand on that in a bit because I'd like to know a bit more about Naruto's superpowers. Well done, and thank you so much for sharing, first years. So these are some of the superpowers or graduate attributes, okay, that we would love for all of you to be focusing on developing. And I'm just going to expand on academic skills because often we come into university and we think, okay, so I kind of got this at school. I've aced my matric. There's nothing more. No. So academic skills are prevalent to university success. Okay, so you need to be able to develop these academic skills. They're critical to your success at university, and they will shape your ability to learn, grow, and achieve your goals. And how do you build these academic skills? So the ones that I'm talking about are reading and writing. You might maybe saying, come on, miss, we know this, we know how to read and write. And reading and writing in higher education is a little bit different. It requires deep reading, critical thinking, and clear communication. We also have what we call academic writing. So you may have already heard about the writing place from teaching in the teaching and learning unit. And we have an actual writing mentor, writing person to help you learn how to do academic writing. It's a very specific skill, and we don't expect you to magically know these things. So your first year is really about learning these skills. And further, beyond all of that, learning these skills, you need to commit to getting the most out of your class time. You need to be present. You need to take notes and engage with the material. Put those cell phones in your bags or leave them in your res. But don't sit on your cell phone or your laptops while you're trying to listen to a lecturer. Remember that every lecture is an opportunity to grow, to develop your knowledge. So always be open to new learning ideas. Remember that university challenges the way you think, so embrace it. And as I said previously, you need to step outside your comfort zone. And another important facet of academic skills is asking for help when you need it. Don't struggle in silence. So your lecturers, your tutors, and student support services are all here to help you succeed. So the stronger your academic superpower, the more confident and capable you will feel in your studies. And always remember, you're not alone in this journey. Okay, so the other skills would include, before we move on to self-awareness, Nipo, thank you so much. Your communication skills, managing yourself. Managing yourself, again, has very different dimensions to it because it's managing your studies, managing your time, managing your relationships, managing your feelings even, okay? So, and we're going to expand on that. Your interpersonal skills and social awareness. Thank you, Nipo. We can move on to the next slide. So I've included this, and I'm sure this might be familiar to most of you, from the boy, the mole, the fox, and the horse. These are beautiful illustrations. And here, the superpower that I want to emphasize is that of self-awareness. Now, self-awareness is a key to success at university. It helps you understand your strengths and weaknesses, manage your emotions, make informed academic choices, and navigate your challenges. Being self-aware allows you to build healthy relationships, improve your learning strategies, and create an environment where you thrive. Most importantly, it empowers you to take control of your education and personal growth. So let's read. The greatest illusion, said the mole, is that life should be perfect. And isn't that an illusion? What do you think? Is life perfect? Do we want life to be perfect? Of course, we would love it to be perfect. What is that perfection? Let's not go there. There is no perfection. So the important thing to remember is that let's look at the second lesson. Okay, so the mole asks, what is your best discovery? And the boy says that I'm enough as I am. And if we look at ourselves, are we perfect? I think we're pretty perfect the way we are. But we look at social media and we think, I want to be like that. And I want to do those things. And I want to be like that. And we forget that despite our areas where we need to develop our strengths, we call them weaknesses in inverted commas, we're still perfect as we are. We're unique, okay? So be kind to yourself. okay? And that is the greatest lesson. Be kind to yourself, because we often have this mind that comes up with negative thoughts. We have a brain with a negative bias. And sometimes we need to be mindful that all that is a thought. It's just a thought. If you're feeling like, oh gosh, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, and you start questioning your ability, you need to take a breath, come back into yourself, into the present moment, look at your aspirations that you've created for yourself, and remind yourself that you are good enough, and remind yourself to be kind to yourself. Okay, the next one, Nipu. Okay, we can skip that and move on to emotional intelligence. Thank you. So I wanted to change EQ. So EQ is emotional intelligence. It means it translates into emotional quotient. But emotional intelligence is what all of these employers, now potential employees, people that you are moving towards, are looking for. They want to have graduates who are capable of managing themselves and managing their emotions and managing social relationships. So it is essential for university success to learn how to manage your emotions, to learn how to manage your stress, to stay focused, to build healthy relationships, and bounce back from challenges. And a strong EQ improves academic performance and prepares you for a successful future. So the illustration here, the boy says, the storm is making me tired, and that's how we feel when life feels too much. And the horse says, storms get tired too. So hold on. The storm will pass. We don't stay stuck in those challenges forever. Remember that. Okay, so hold on and look at the smallest step that you can take forward out of the storm. Thank you, Nipo. Next slide. And finally, another superpower, and I think I emphasized this initially, is asking for help. Asking for help is a strength, not a weakness. It connects you with others, it boosts your productivity, it shows maturity. It also reduces stress and anxiety. So imagine sitting in a corner, sitting in your room on your own, trying to figure things out. It feels heavy, doesn't it? Your body feels heavy, your head feels heavy. You eventually start feeling the heaviness physically as well. Okay, so reaching out will make you feel supported. But most importantly, it helps you learn and grow from those around you. So don't be afraid to reach out. Okay, so we can move on to the next slide. And the next slide is really about us, the team. And I'm going to be talking to you about our services. So we call student support services, or SSS. We can move on, Nipo, to our next slide. And we are based on the various campuses, Westville campus, Pietermaritzburg and Howard College campus. And you can take a snapshot of this, a screenshot of this. So you have our location. So our location in the Westville campus is in L Block, level 5. You can take the lift up. On the Pietermaritzburg campus, it's in the house on 1 Gulf Road. And on Howard College campus, it's in Shepston, level 5. It's near the college office, the law college office. So a part of our team, we have the manager, we have our administrative officer, Ms. Norma Makatini, whom we introduced to. Our career development officer, Ms. Yanga Lufundo, and our student counselors, and you've already met with them. Thank you. Our next slide. So these are our key services. So we do offer free and confidential counseling and psychotherapy. I'm going to expand on that a little bit more. Career counseling, academic and life skills development, support groups, and career development services. Next slide, Nipur. Right, what is career counseling? So many of you come into university and you think, hey, this is it. This is what I'm meant to do. Because you've researched. Some of you have had a career assessment and you're on par. Who you are and your abilities, your interests, everything are now in synchronous. So you are clear, this is my path. I want to become an advocate. I want to become an attorney, so the LLB is for me. But there are some of you that may not have had the opportunity to be exposed to that particular career path that you've been, you are now registered in. And you get into first year and you think, oh my word, what on earth is this? I don't think this is the right path for me. And there's some confusion. So come in for a session of career counseling, and we will advise you on the kind of research resources that you may access. We'll also have the conversation around whether this is a good fit for you. And it's always best to make the change sooner rather than later. Okay, so we want to encourage you to come in, even if you have the least amount of confusion. We can move on. Next slide. So we also offer personal counseling. So personal counseling is also known as individual therapy or simply counseling. It's a process where the students meet with the student counselors and we work through personal issues, concerns, or challenges that you're facing. And you're able to gain self-awareness, develop coping strategies, and improve your overall well-being in a safe and confidential environment. The key points about personal counseling is that there are one-on-one sessions. You meet with your trained student counselors who are registered psychologists in a private setting. You focus on personal issues. These could include relationship problems, stress, anxiety, trauma, anything. And then you go through a process of exploration and self-discovery. And we're able to help you develop healthy coping mechanisms. And everything is confidential. Next slide. So these are some of the cases where counseling is really worth considering, particularly when you're feeling stressed, anxious, or depressed, you're experiencing difficulties in relationships with significant others or family, you're having difficulties with your studies and feeling demotivated, you're looking for help to manage your exam-related stress, if there has been the experience of a sexual assault, issues around identity, suicidal thoughts or thoughts around harming yourself, a particular issue in confidence, or if you're feeling lonely or any kind of distress. Thank you. Next slide. So what we want to encourage you to do is to access counseling as soon as possible. So we do provide assistance with concessions, but if you have any kind of disability, you are recommended, and we will advise you such, whether it be a mental health disability, a physical disability, to register with the disability unit. And we will work in collaboration with the disability unit if you require any academic concessions. And we urge you once again to ensure that you contact student support services early enough, not just before the exam or a test, because we can only help you if we know your issue, we know your context. Thank you so much. Next slide. Are there any questions around this? Just put it in the chat. These are just some ways in which counseling can benefit you. Remember, we spoke about the superpower of self-awareness, and it really does change everything. You will become braver and less anxious as you work through some of those issues that hold you back. You'll begin to make sense of the past. You'll begin to value yourself. You'll notice that your thoughts, you become more aware of them, and particularly how they sometimes direct your actions, and you'll begin to manage them more effectively. You'll live more in the moment, in the present, and you'll understand why you do things which sometimes don't make sense. Okay, next slide. Now, I think I've more than emphasized that it takes courage to come in and ask for help. And often people say, I don't want to discuss my issues with a stranger. And I promise you, every student that has come to a student counselor, when they leave here, that professional is not a stranger to them any longer. Okay? It feels like home when they come in to a student counselor, and they build that relationship with the student counselor. So it's really not a sign of weakness, but a sign that you're taking steps to address the problems you're experiencing. Thank you. Next slide. We also offer academic counseling. Now, this is different from the academic counseling that is offered by the ADOs and the teaching and learning unit that you've already become familiar with. We look at more of the psychosocial issues that are impacting your academic progress. These might include fear of failure, motivation and concentration issues, and effective study strategies. Thank you so much. We also offer life skills development. These are workshops designed to develop your interpersonal skills, your emotional well-being, career development, and employability. And these are some of them. We offer skills for success, and these include your time management, your study skills. We offer learning strategies, stress management, time management, growth mindset, learning styles, CV writing, interview skills, and presentation skills. And we do advertise on our SharePoint, and Ms. Makatini is going to talk to you about our SharePoint, which is a valuable platform for us to remain connected with you throughout your lifespan as a student. So these are some of the frequently asked questions. So some of you may have already asked them in the chat. We already highlighted when you should be seeking counseling, particularly for mental health issues. Early intervention is really, really important. And you do not have to pay anything to attend counseling. It is free for registered students. What happens in your first session? So when you book your appointment, you'll be asked to read and sign an informed consent form. We encourage you to read this carefully so that you understand what services we provide. So we now have an online informed consent form, and that will help you to understand how we manage your information, as well as the limits to confidentiality. So in your first session, it's usually about getting to know you and talking about what has brought you to us. Of course, it's not easy to open up to somebody you don't know, but most people feel a bit tense or uncomfortable in talking to a stranger about personal matters initially, but you'll find that that discomfort fades away as soon as you get started. So, as I mentioned, it is the beginning of a very special relationship. You can have both face-to-face and online counseling sessions. Very important question. Are my visits to SSS included in my academic record? Will my lecturers find out if I come for counseling? No, they will not find out, as counseling services are confidential. However, there are times when you may request that we liaise with your lecturer on your behalf, and we will only do this with your permission, with your informed consent. Thank you. Do your parents know when you come in for counseling? No, definitely not. Okay. However, in the case of an emergency, your parents will need to be contacted. Okay, and this would apply to the context where you may be wanting to hurt yourself, or if there is a threat that you want to hurt someone else. Does it mean I'm weak if I come for counseling? Or does it mean something's wrong with me? No. In fact, it is a sign of strength that you recognize when something is troubling you. It shows your wisdom. It shows your ability to have insight into yourself. And this is self-care. And Nipo is going to talk to you a bit more about that. Thank you. Next slide. Okay. I'm now going to hand you over to Ms. Makatini, and she's going to explain to you on how to make an appointment with Student Support Services. Thank you so much for your attention and your engagement, everyone. Thank you, Norma.
Hi, everyone. Ishara has introduced me. I'm Norma Temba Makatini. So basically, Ishara has given you the 2 health assistants for therapy within the university. So how do you make an appointment for yourself once you have decided that I need to see a psychologist? So you book online. Our website, it says CLMS Student Support Services .ukzn.ac.za. So you can take a screenshot of this slide, because it's actually going to help you into getting into our website or our link. And on our link, that's where it shows you a small box in orange that says book online. You click on that and then you can book a session. So it will take you through to a system that's where you book your session. It's called Bookem, and it will actually show you the sessions that you can have. We offer career development sessions. We also offer first counseling. So when you are booking for the first time, you'll have to click first counseling. But if you're booking for the second time, then you go for standard counseling, and that is available with therapy counseling for individual. We also have group sessions, which we advertise on SharePoint, as Ishara has stipulated at the beginning. We have a toll-free number that you can call. So it's 0800 800 017. And you can also write an email to me in case maybe you have not actually taken a screenshot of this, and you can write to makatini@ukzn.ac.za. And you can also phone on our phone, which is 031-260-7337. But what is good about our service is that if you do not have, let's say you don't have an airtime, or you are unable to call us, you can actually call us for free on the 0800 800 017 service. Our sessions are individual sessions, but we also have group sessions, which we advertise on SharePoint. And that you can get through, there's a next screen which will show you the information about the SharePoint and also our links that we do have and we offer to students. You can also get our sessions, because we advertise them on our UKZN notes system, which is the emails that you will get each and every day about what is happening on campus. It will give you general information of the adverts of jobs that are available, or of the vacancies, or of any information that is happening within the university. So it's quite an email that is intense, that has so much information, and we advertise our group session on that session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Norma. That was wonderful. The slide that Norma was making reference to, we will share that with you at the end of this presentation, so you can take a screenshot. We now have Ms. Lufundo, who's going to be talking to you about the career development and graduate recruitment services that will be supporting you in sharpening your skills for the transition to the world of work. Thank you, Ms. Lufundo.
Thank you so much, Ishara. Good morning, everyone. Sanibonani. My name is Yanga Lufundo. I am a Career Development Officer for the College of Law and Management Studies. I'm based here at the Westville campus, but I also work for Pietermaritzburg and also at the Howard College. So basically, my role is to help students to prepare effectively for their transition into the working world. So this office is a link between the employers and the students on campus. So I know you would say, because we are just first years, why are you telling us about employment? At the end of the day, you are here to study. After graduation, you will need employment. So you will need this office. So make use of this office as soon as possible. Next slide, Nipo. So these are the offices, are the services that we offer the career development services. We prepare students for the world of work by conducting workshops like CV writing, interview skills. We do these cover letter writing or job application letter writing. We do these workshops on individual basis and also on groups. So I encourage you as a first year to attend these kinds of workshops so that even if you are looking for a part-time job during your vacation, your June vacation, your December vacation, you have your CV ready. And if you need to go to attend the interviews, then you can book an appointment with me. I can assist you and give you the tips on how to perform in those interviews. Also, we do expose students to the prospective employers. We do this by creating a platform for you guys on campus to be able to network and interact with the prospective employers. So we usually invite employers on campus to come and recruit our UKZN students so that when they apply for jobs, they are already recruited from our campuses. So we encourage you as well to attend these events. They are very important for you also to have confidence in what you do. Let's say you are doing your law degree, then you get to know the law companies. If you do your supply chain degree, then you know who would you work for in the future. Yeah? And then we do the part-time and we do offer the part-time and full-time employment. So by this, you need to register on the CLMS database. Norma, I don't know if you are able to share the link for the students to register on the CLMS database. If you need any kind of employment, maybe to assist on campus, or maybe you need something that is full-time out of campus, then if you are on our database, it is easy for us to access your details. So I'm encouraging you to register in this database as soon as possible. This next slide, Nipo.
So Younger, we will share the slide at the end of the presentation. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So students, please save these dates and join us for the careers fair. As I've mentioned before, that we do create the platform for you to connect and network with the companies. On the 12th of March, we have the Accounting Professions Day. On the 12th of March at the PMB campus, where we invite all the accounting firms to come and recruit the accounting students here on campus. And on the 13th of March, we have the Accounting Professions Day here at the Westville campus, where we invite all the accounting firms to come and recruit our students on campus. And then we have the Law Day right after that week, that is on the 19th and the 20th. At the PMB campus, it is the 19th. We will invite, we've already invited all the law firms to come and recruit you guys here on campus, and also at the Howard College on the 20th. And then we have our General Careers Fair. The General Careers Fair is for all students. It's not only meant for accounting or for law only. This is for all students, like your engineering students, supply chain, marketing, everyone from UKZN. We call it UKZN General Careers Fair. We do it in all 3 campuses. At Howard this year is on the 30th of July, and then the 31st of July at the Westville campus, and also at the PMP campus on the 1st of August this year. So I encourage you to attend all these events. You don't have to be there the whole day. You can, when you have a break, a 5 minutes break or 10 minutes break, go to the hall and hear what are they saying about their job opportunities when they are here on campus. Thank you so much. That's all from me.
Thank you so much, Yanga. We are now moving on to Ms. Biela, who's going to be providing you or sharing you with really valuable insights on adjusting to university life. So make sure you're taking down some points in your notebook. Thank you, Ms. Biela.
Thank you, Ishara. Good morning, everyone, and a special welcome to our first year CLMS students. Siyanamukela ngezandla ezifudumele. We're so happy that you have joined UKZN. So today, like Mr. Shara has already said, my name is Nonhlonipho Biela. I'm based in the Pietermaritzburg campus. So if you are also studying in the Pietermaritzburg campus, hopefully you will see my friendly face very soon. Okay. So today I'm just going to be talking to you guys about adjusting to university life, because there is a huge difference when you move from high school and then you're coming to university. There's going to be a lot of changes that you're going to have to encounter. And mind you, you're moving from being under the supervision of your parents, and most of you are going to have to be responsible for yourselves. So there's going to be a lot of changes, and you need the right skills in order to make those changes. And then I am here to assist you, to walk with you, so that you can be able to make those changes, so that you are able to adjust and then eventually thrive and succeed at UKZN. So I'm here to assist you with that. So what I want us to learn by the end of the session basically is the different skills that you're going to need to adjust to university, and also how you can prioritize yourself. So the first thing that I want us to talk about, I want you to think about this. This is an important thing. I want you to focus on the why. Why did you choose to come to university and study towards getting a degree? And I know this might sound like a ridiculous question, but it's an important question to ask yourself. Why did you even choose the particular degree that you have enrolled for? That is something that I really want you to ask yourself. Did you do it because maybe your parents wanted you to go to university? Did you do it because society says you have to go to university? Or did you do it because this is something that you have always imagined for yourself and wanted for yourself? You've always seen yourself becoming a lawyer and attorney one day. You've always seen yourself becoming a chartered accountant, or seen yourself working within the financial sector. This is something that you want for yourself. And this is important because, listen here, when you're trying to do your degree, these next 3 or 4 years are going to be very difficult. And you need to know why you're doing this, because it's going to motivate you to wake up in the morning and go and attend your lectures. It's going to motivate you to actually do your assignments, study for your tests and your exams, because it does get hard. Sometimes you're going to wake up in the morning and you're like, I don't want to attend. But when you remember why you chose to come to university, why you decided to study that degree, then you're going to say, no, I have to get up and actually study. So make sure that tonight, or some of you, if you already know the answer, you can share it in the chat. If you know why you chose to come to university, you can share it in the chat. But if you haven't really sat down and truly thought about it, I want you to sit down and think about it. And I want you to do it for yourself, because guys, kunzima. I had times where, doing my degree, it was so hard. I would see people begging on the streets and I would think these people's lives is much, much, much easier than mine. I wish I had their life, I wish I could be them. But then I'd be reminded of why I chose to study this degree and why am I making all of these sacrifices, So please think about the why. Why are you doing this? It's going to be very important. So my next slide here talks about what are some of your assumptions about university. Also write them down in the chat. I can't see the chat at the moment, but write them down. My colleagues are going to see them. I want you to just share some of your assumptions, what you think university is going to be like, what you assume university is like, And mind you, on social media, they do share what university is supposed to be like, but some of those things aren't actually true. For example, in matric, I used to do 8 subjects. And when I came to university, I only had to do 4 modules. So then I assumed it means that it is so easy in university, Even your timetable, you will notice that you're going to have some free time in between your lectures. Some days you're going to finish early. And then that will create an assumption that, oh, then it means university is easy. But I want to tell you, it is not easy. There's a lot of content that you actually have to go through. And the reason why you will see that there's going to be some free time in between, in your timetable, in between lectures, is so that you can use that time to actually study. So I am debunking that myth for you that university is not easy just because you're going to be doing 5 modules. No, each module is going to require that you invest a lot of your time into that particular module. Another assumption that I do come across, and I'm sure some of you are writing this assumption, is that university is the time to party. It's time to let loose, party from Monday up until Sunday. And the answer is no. University is not like that. You need to be invested in your academics, okay? Yes, there is time for fun and also responsible fun. Be mindful of how you're going to have fun. And also, you can't afford to be partying every weekend. You can't afford it. So that's another myth I would want you to debunk. I don't want you to come into university thinking that it's just going to be a party. You're just going to party. No, 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 no. We are going to be attending our lectures, and then we're going to have responsible fun during the weekend, okay? I wish I could see some of the assumptions, but I'm sure a lot of you are sharing. Other people say, university is hard. It's hard to get a degree in university, A lot of people fail in university, That can be a reality, but I also want to let you know that a lot of people succeed in university. They thrive in university. And I would encourage you to go to our YouTube page, the UKZN YouTube page, and just watch some of the graduations, That's going to inspire you, and that's going to show you that a lot of people do get their degrees. As long as you invest in your academics, you work hard, you are consistent when it comes to academics, then you'll definitely get your degree in 3 years. And for those who are doing 4-year degrees, in those particular 4 years. Okay. So let's move on. So the first adjustment that you're going to have to make in university is the emotional adjustment to it. I know that a lot of you right now have mixed feelings, mixed emotions about coming to university. A lot of you are excited, you're happy, you want to come to university, you know, but at the same time, there's a lot of anxiety with that. Some of you are not from KwaZulu-Natal, so you're going to have to leave your family and travel and come down to KwaZulu-Natal. You're concerned that maybe you don't even speak isiZulu, you don't know how it's going to be like, you know. So I know that a lot of you are anxious, and some of you at some point are going to feel homesick. You're going to be missing your mother, you're going to be missing your parents, your siblings, and your friends that you are leaving behind. You're going to be missing just the fondness of the community that you grew up in. Some of you are even going to miss the high school that you come from, you know. So there is going to be that emotional adjustments that you're going to have to make, because it does get overwhelming at times. It does feel like it is a lot, and a lot is being expected from you. So how can we manage that, and how can we adjust emotionally? Number one, I'd say do not bottle up your feelings. Talk about it. Talk about what you're excited about, you know, but also talk about your worries, your fears, and your concerns. Because a lot of times we only talk about what we're happy about, and we're so scared to also share our feelings. Listen, you are not the only person who is currently feeling anxious, who's currently worried. So do speak to the other first years, because they're having similar emotions as you. Speak to your parents, speak to your friends. Use your current support system to allow you to help you to actually adjust in university. And don't be ashamed. I get students that say, for the first 2 weeks, I was just crying the whole entire time because I miss my parents. So then most of the time what helps them is just to schedule a time where they can call their parents. And now we even have video calls, so you can video call your parents. And if you don't live too far, you're able on weekends to visit your parents as you settle in. But for some of you, if you live very far, then you're going to have to come up with other creative ideas. Okay. And also be willing to ask for help from those around you. So also your roommates, if you're living in res, those are the people that also are going to help you, that you can draw support from. And also definitely you can come to us if you are feeling overwhelmed or homesick and you need somebody to talk to, and for us to assist you through this process as well. We are definitely here for you in that area. Okay, and also you're going to have to make a social adjustment to university, okay? So the important thing is that you need to create a healthy social network, okay? So a lot of you now are going to be trying to make friends because a lot of you don't know any person. So that is also anxiety provoking on its own, I know. But the nice thing is that most people do not have friends here. So it's going to be easy to make friends. But be very mindful of the people that you bring within your circle. Make sure that your friends have similar goals and values as you, because those people are key in ensuring that you are successful in university or you are not successful in university. You need people who are as serious about their academics as you are. You need those kinds of people because they're also going to be there to encourage you and motivate you when things get tough. And also sometimes you do make friends with people and then later on you realize that actually we're not on the same page. They don't want the same things that I want. So then it is okay to end a friendship and just say, I think me and you don't want the same things, you know? So I would rather be around people who have similar values to me, and that is fine, you know? And it's also important to develop good relationships with your roommates and your classmates. So sometimes with roommates, this can be a source of conflict. So when you get your roommate and you meet them and you're getting to know them, I think it is important to establish ground rules on how you guys are going to live together. Set those rules very early. For example, if you have certain boundaries, like please don't touch my my groceries, please don't touch my clothes, don't wear my clothes without my permission, please just don't use my cosmetics without my permission. Let them know about your boundaries as well. Also things like, for example, when it's time to study, we need to be mindful of each other. When someone is studying, you can have a specific time the both of you that you set for studying so no one disturbs each other. Another point of conflict is people bring their friends into their res room and then the roommate ends up being disturbed. So you guys can have a rule where we say we don't bring outside people into our res room, or we have a specific time where we can actually bring other people. So set those rules very early, okay? Develop good relationships with your classmates. These people are also going to help you as well. So if you develop good relationship with your classmates, they can assist you when it comes to assignments, when it comes to having to break down certain content and information. These people sometimes can even keep you accountable and be like, yo, we do not see you in the lecture theater. Where are you? Why aren't you attending? And maybe let's say you're sick. So then they're able to assist you and say, hey, today we were doing this chapter. This is what we were discussing. Here are the notes. So it's good to have those relationships. And remember, your classmates, most of them, you're going to be studying with them from first year up until third or fourth year. And some of these people you're even going to work with after university. Also, it is important to join clubs and organizations that interest you, and student union will also, sports union will also show you the different clubs that they actually have. So maybe let's say you're interested in soccer, then there's a team, a soccer team, there's a cricket team, there's a chess club, and there's different ones that are out there that might interest you. So it is good to also have a hobby so that when you're taking time off from your academics, you can do something that you truly enjoy, something that truly does benefit you and adds to your mental health as well. So please do consider that. Normally when I see students, we discuss either going to the gym, because the university does have a gym, and I have a few students who've either joined cricket or joined soccer or rugby, something that they truly enjoy. Join or create a study group. It is important that you do have a study group, but in this study group, you have to also choose people who are very serious about the study group. So people that are going to prepare prior to attending the session, you know, because when it comes to study groups, you'll find that people have different strengths. You're going to have somebody who's really good at accounting, someone who's really good at auditing, somebody who's really good at economics. So you are able to draw from the other people's strengths as well. You're able to sometimes discuss certain articles. Once you've read the article, you can discuss it. In some instances with certain lectures, there's so many articles that you have to read, and you can say, so-and-so, you read this article and do a summary and all of that, and people come in and present. You need to also work smart, okay? So joining support groups is amazing. And I always tell students, you cannot survive university on your own. You need other people to be there and assist you, and you can also assist them. And these people can also help to keep you accountable about attending, about submitting your assignments as well. So here's a little video. I hope that the sound will actually play.
Yazi ngizoyenzani mfethu? Ngizothenga amazambane yabo. So njengoba ngithenga amazambane kanje, ngizolimanipulator. Yazi lo i-potato manipulation. Nini ngilenza ama-chips. Izambane ngilenza ama-chips. Nini ngilenza i-salad, potato salad. Nini ngenza i-mash.
Okay, so I just want to explain to the students who do not speak Zulu. So this is a student saying how he's planning to survive university. So he's saying that he's going to do potato manipulation. So with a potato, you can make, you know, the fried chips, as he said, you can make a potato salad, you can even make a mash. So you need to be savvy and be smart about how you approach university. So this leads us to financial adjustments. So this leads us to financial adjustments. So at some point, obviously, a lot of you are going to move away from home. You're going to come to university. You're going to be living in res. A lot of you have either bursaries where you're getting meal allowance. Some of you have NSFAS. You are also getting a meal allowance from NSFAS. Some of you, even your parents are supplementing those incomes, and they're giving you also money. So you're going to need to know how to manage your finances, okay? Now you're becoming a real adult. If you get the money on the 25th, you're going to have to make sure that it lasts you up until the next month on the 25th as well, which is sometimes a little bit tricky and difficult. So be prepared to manage your finances. So it's important to learn how to budget, okay? So you're going to have to sit down every month, write down all the important things that you need to pay for. Number one, I'm sure on top of your list is your groceries. And you have to be savvy, like that guy when he was talking about buying potatoes. Now you have to think, what can I buy that I can make several different kinds of foods with it? What can I buy that can last me longer up until the end of the month? Because we do not want you guys to be hungry, okay, while you're at rest, because you need to be eating so that you can come and study and be active as well. So you have to budget in terms of groceries, in terms of also any toiletries that you need, and also sometimes printing credits, because you need to upload money that's going to allow you to print or to do photocopies while you're here on campus. So be very mindful of what is important. Prioritize what is mainly important. You might also want to say, I want to eat at KFC at some point, but that's not the main priority, you know. So start with what is important, and then you can consider the other things as well, okay? So be very savvy with your money, be very mindful, and also be very much assertive when it comes to how you manage your money. Sometimes I get students who say, a friend of mine keeps asking for money and they never return the money. They keep borrowing my money and they don't return it, okay? So you have to be assertive and just let your friends know that you cannot borrow them money, you know, that you can't give them money, that you are also a student who you are struggling just like them as well. And sometimes if you're a student that finds it difficult to be assertive and stand up for yourself, I always say you have to give them a white lie. If they say they need to borrow 300 rands because they need to do this, and you know that you also only have 300 rands left and you can't give it to them, just tell them, Yazi, your problems is incane. I have bigger problems. You want 300 rand? Yo, I need 1,000 rand. I have this problem, that problem, that problem. And then they will leave you alone, okay? The more times you say that to them, they'll just leave you alone and know not to borrow from you. I used to have a friend when I was in university. She printed out a bank slip that you get when you're withdrawing money from the ATM, and the slip said she had 50 rands. Anytime we wanted to do anything, she'd be like, hey, guys, see this receipt, and she'll show us the same receipt that has 50 rands. We caught on after some time, but we were like, let's leave her alone. Yeah. So you have to be smart and come up with those types of things as well. And also, do not fall into peer pressure, guys. Please do not fall into peer pressure. Some people are going to tell you to open up clothing accounts, and you'll see some people on campus are wearing the latest Nike shoes. They have the nicest weave and all of that. And you're going to feel also pressure that I need to dress a certain way. You know, I also have to have this kind of weave and all of that. I don't want you to fall in those kinds of pressures. You know, be grateful for what you have, and also be grateful for what you can afford. You know, if you can't afford Nike sneakers, that's okay. Once you get your degree, you will afford all the Nike sneakers that you actually want. So do not stress yourself about trying to fit in that kind of way. Don't open those clothing accounts and now suddenly you have a debt that's also going to stress you when you are being also stressed by your own studies. So don't fall into those pressures. Other people are going to say, let's drink, it's a Friday, da-da-da-da. Don't also fall into that pressure as well, you know, just stay at home, have other kinds of fun as well. So please be mindful. The last thing I also want to say, speak to your parents as well. Sometimes parents think just because you are getting NSFAS and you're getting the meal allowance, they think you're getting a lot of money. So a lot of students end up having to take care of their families as well, which I see that it stresses them out. You have to let your parents understand that you are not getting a salary. This meal allowance is just for you to buy groceries. It's not even supposed to help you with other things, you know? So your parents need to know, Uti, you're not a money maker here at university yet. You don't have the money. So they need to understand that as well. So then also we have to obviously make an academic adjustments to university. Number one, I want to say, take responsibility of your own learning. When you're in high school, your teachers used to chase you around. They used to be there to motivate you. They would ask you 5 times about the assignments. In university, no one is there to do that. You have to be that person for yourself. You are the one who has to remind yourself why you're here at university. You are the one who has to motivate yourself to attend all your lectures and things of that nature. Take responsibility of your education. Remember, at the end of the day, this degree is going to benefit you. So you have to take it seriously. Be open-minded and receptive to new ideas, because when you come to university, we do things a little bit differently. You're going to need to change maybe how you used to do things before. If you want to adapt in life, you need to be flexible, okay? Also set goals and work towards achieving those goals. Again, tonight, after you've written your why you're in university, I want you to write down your goals for this semester and for this year. And for each goal, be specific about it, okay? And also have steps on how you can reach that particular goal. You need to know what you need to do in order to reach that goal. Also, attend all your lectures and tutorials. When students first come to university, you'll find they are always attending. The first 2 months, they're attending. But after that, I don't know who lies to you and starts telling you that you don't need to attend. Please attend. Please continue to attend, you know. And foster a good relationship with your lecturers as well and tutors. I know sometimes it's scary here in university because your lecturers are professors, they're doctors, so sometimes you're afraid of them and you're scared, but they're very lovely individuals. Some of them have an open door policy. Some of them you have to book a session in order to talk to them. Tutors are even more relatable because they are also still students. So please also ask for help from your tutors. They understand the content, they understand the module that you are doing. So these are the people that you need to be talking to, that you need to ask help from when it comes to academic needs. Also, guys, you need to manage your time wisely. You know, I always tell students, for example, like I said, you'll find here in university that your first class is at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. And then maybe that day your last class is going to end at like 4 o'clock. But then I tell students, just come to campus much early. Instead of coming to 10 when your lecture starts, come at 8 o'clock and then go to the library and start preparing and studying for the lectures, the modules that you have for that particular day. Use your time constructively. And we normally emphasize the 8-8-8 rule. So 8 hours, you just invest them into your academics. So that could be from, let's say, 8 to 4 o'clock while you're here on campus, you know. And then the other 8 hours, you can incorporate resting, you can incorporate socializing with your friends, you can incorporate having fun. And then later in the evening, you can then take away maybe some 2 hours to actually study, to consolidate everything that you learned during the day, and then make sure to get your 8 hours of sleep. You have to be able to account how much you're using your time. So having a timetable and writing down everything that you need to do for the day and how you're going to use this particular time is very much important. Because you will realize that in your university, you have a lot of time, but if you don't use it appropriately, towards the end of the semester, it's going to feel like you didn't have enough time when you actually did, because the important thing is how you go about using that time. And also you need to upscale your study skills. And like we said, we do provide academic skills as well, and we do academic workshops, but also your ADOs are able to assist here. Also, just want to tell you guys some extra tips is that take your time. Do not try to make all of these adjustments at once. It takes one day at a time. It's not miraculously going to happen, boom, at the same time. Make small changes and stick to those changes, and consistency is the key. And you're going to have to be kind to yourself during this process. I don't want you being too critical of yourselves. Sometimes you have to laugh at yourself. For example, when I was doing my first year, me and my friends were supposed to be attending Geography 101. So we went to the science building and then we got lost and we went into a different lecture theater. While we were attending there, I'm telling my friend, this is not geography. This is physics, and it was physics 201. So it was for second year students and we're first year students. And mind you, the lecture theater is so small, we can't now leave because the lecturer is going to be like, where you guys are going. So we sat and attended the whole entire physics session that we were not supposed to be in there. So we still laugh about it even till this day. So certain things like that is going to happen. You're going to get lost sometimes and you're not going to know where the actual venue is. You're going to be walking around asking people, where's this place? It is normal. It is normal. Laugh at yourself. I still laugh at myself. So then my last part as I'm about to close, guys, is that I also want you to take care of yourself. I want you to prioritize yourself while you are doing your academics. I want you to eat healthy. I want you to stay hydrated. I want you to include exercise in your daily routine. With a lot of students that I see who struggle with like anxiety, for example, and even stress, I always advise them to walk or jog or go to the gym. And a lot of the students have told me that jogging in the morning is helping them quite a lot, you know, so please incorporate something of this nature, you know, or it's playing sports, whatever it is, whenever that you enjoy that helps you to de-stress, you know. Make sure that you're getting enough time to rest. So sometimes when you leave campus and you're really tired, get to rest and just rest. If you want to take a quick nap, because naps are good, but make sure that you set an alarm to wake you up at some point. You don't want to take a nap and it ends up being 8 hours of sleep and it's supposed to be a nap. And make sure that at night you are getting 8 hours of sleep, because sleep helps with a lot of things, especially memory and concentration as well. And it also helps with emotional regulation. So students, all I want to say is that we are with you in this journey. Never feel like you are alone. We are here to walk it with you and we wish you the best. We want you to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you so Miss Biela. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. I'm sure the students thoroughly enjoyed it, and we can see by those hands and hearts. Wonderful, warm anecdotes. I think that sharing was beautiful. Thank you very much. We're going to now move on to Ms. Natemba Wambe, and she's going to be talking to you about a very, very critical and important matter, that is gender-based violence. Thank you very much, Natemba. I'll hand over to you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ishara. Thank you so much to my colleagues as well who have presented before me. To Nipo, I really do enjoy that potato video because honestly, we really do need to be potatoes in our lives. Sometimes we need to be fries, sometimes you need to be mashed potatoes. So yeah, I definitely enjoy that video. And to the students who are here, thank you so much for being here. And like my colleagues have mentioned, congratulations for this new adventure. Congratulations for making it into university. And I really do hope that the next 3 years, the next 4 years are going to be fruitful. I do hope that you're going to be learning so much and you're going to grow in the next 3 or 4 years. So as has been mentioned, I'm going to be speaking about gender-based violence. So this is a very important and critical issue, as we know that, you know, gender-based violence affects our communities and the university environment is not exempt from that. So I really do hope that you'll be able to absorb the information that I'm going to be sharing today. And please do take note of the resources that are available if you experience any type of gender-based violence. Please could you move on to the next slide? So first of all, we're going to start by speaking about what is gender-based violence. So GBV is any act of violence that results in physical, sexual, or psychological harm or suffering to women, girls, men, and boys based on their gender. So basically, GBV is any harmful act that is directed towards someone because of their gender. And yes, GBV affects every single person, However, we all know that women and children and individuals who are in the LGBTQIA+ community are the ones who are mostly impacted by gender-based violence. GBV is also rooted in gender inequality and power imbalances. So as we know in our society, there's a gender, mostly men, who are put into positions of power, who are put into positions of authority, because of the patriarchal system that we are under. And because of that, women are often dependent, children are often dependent, onto men. And that type of relationship often creates inequality, which often leads to control and dominance. And control and dominance sometimes often comes out in terms of violence, where in order for the person to assert their dominance, in order for the person to assert their authority, they often resort to violence to do that. So there are different forms of gender-based violence. So the first one we're going to be looking at is physical violence. So physical violence is any intentional act that somebody does on someone else to cause them harm, like hitting, slapping, or any physical harm. So I think what's important about physical violence is that it's intentional. It's not a mistake. So if somebody is hitting you, if somebody is causing you any physical harm, it's important to remember that it's not a mistake that they did. It was an intentional act that they decided to perform. Right. So an example of physical violence is intimate partner violence. So for example, you may be having an argument with your partner and your partner then hits you, or you both hit each other, right? So that's an example of physical violence. And physical violence often leads to physical harm, or it can even cause psychological or mental health issues as well. So the next one is sexual violence. So sexual violence includes harassment, it includes rape, it includes coercion. So it's any sexual acts or behavior forced upon a person without their consent, right? So an example of sexual harassment is somebody coercing you, somebody inappropriately touching you, somebody being persistent in their behavior, and all of that is unwanted, right? So an example that I can think of is if maybe someone is asking you out, and in them asking you out, you are consistently saying, no, please don't speak to me, please don't, carry on with your behavior, but they are consistent in their behavior. They keep on, talking to you, they keep on, trying to get your attention, but you just keep on saying no. So that can be considered to be, harassment. So rape and coercion, as has been mentioned, is another form of sexual violence. So emotional and psychological abuse also is a form of gender-based violence. So this is any behavior that harms a person's mental and emotional well-being. So emotional and psychological abuse involves threats, so threatening someone, intimidating someone, or verbally abusing someone is considered to be emotional and psychological abuse, right? So an example of this is gaslighting. I know that this is a term that we are all familiar with, right? And it's become so normalized, but I really just want to emphasize that it's a form of psychological abuse. So gaslighting is basically manipulating someone into questioning their own memories, feelings, or reality. So the words that you use make that person question, okay, did this really happen? Did I really say this? Am I really, reacting in the best way to this situation? So this type of emotional and psychological abuse can affect somebody in terms of their self-esteem, in terms of their identity, even in terms of their confidence in believing whatever it is that they, are saying, because you have emotionally and psychologically harmed them. So another form of gender-based violence is economic abuse. So this entails financial control, withholding resources, or restricting access to financial independence. So an example of this that could happen is maybe your partner or your parents withholds, withholds finances. So for example, they refuse to pay your rent, or they refuse to give you money to buy food or cosmetics or whatever it is. And this is done in order for them to kind of impact your decision making. It's a way basically of trying to control you and get you to behave in the way that they would like you to behave. And obviously, this type of economic abuse often leads to you being dependent on that person. It can even affect your academics, even affect your own, finances as well, because there's instability in it. Lastly, the last form of GBV is digital violence. So digital violence looks at cyberbullying. It looks at non-consensual sharing of intimate images, which is termed revenge porn, and online harassment. So digital violence basically is using social media to kind of harass or bully someone, for example, creating a WhatsApp group. This is an example that I've heard as well. Creating a WhatsApp group to share, or to share private, intimate things about a person, creating a WhatsApp group to bully people, or creating a WhatsApp group to kind of, share personal information about someone, or to bully someone, or to yeah, so that's basically what digital violence is. Also, what also encompasses digital violence is sharing private pictures or sharing private information about someone. So, for example, sharing a student's student number or sharing a student's personal information on social media. That is part of cyberbullying on social media. So GBV on university campuses, as I've mentioned, that university campuses are not exempt from GBV. GBV can happen in lecture halls, it can happen in residences, it can happen in social spaces, and even online, as I made an example of, that WhatsApp group where WhatsApp groups can be created to bully and harass students. So first-year students, as a first-year student, you are particularly vulnerable to it because you are in a new environment that you've never been in before, because of peer pressure, wanting to fit in with your friends. Now you're getting into relationships where there is economic abuse in them, and also a lack of awareness about the available support systems. Please, could you? So the prevalent forms of GBV on university campuses include sexual harassment. So this, as I've mentioned, any unwanted sexual advances, which include catcalling, inappropriate touching, and coercion. It's common in classrooms, residences, and social spaces, and it often happens in power imbalances. So, for example, between lecturers and students, So in this case, the lecturer is the person who has all of the power, and you, the students, are then dependent on your lecturer, because then they are controlling you, they may be intimidating you, they may be threatening you to perform, certain sexual acts or activities in order for you to pass. Sexual assault and rape is another form of GBV that is prevalent on university campuses, and incidences often occur in student residences, parties, and social gatherings. So you may be at a party, you may have been drinking in that party, and someone decides to take advantage of you, or somebody puts something into your drink. So it's very important to be very vigilant, when attending parties, and when you are in social gatherings as well. So date rape and acquaintance rapes are particularly prevalent, and some cases may involve the use of drugs or alcohol to incapacitate their victims. Intimate partner violence, as I have mentioned, is part of physical violence. So it's any form of emotional, physical, or sexual abuse within student relationships. As I made that example, you may be arguing with your partner and your partner ends up hitting you, or you both end up in a physical engagement with each other. So it's control, coercion, and physical violence occur often behind closed doors, and some victims may remain in abusive relationships due to economic or emotional dependence. Cyber harassment and revenge porn is another prevalent form of GBV on university campuses. So it's the non-consensual sharing of explicit images or videos of another person. So in this case, the other person hasn't given their consent for the videos or the images to be shared. So they may have sent them to you with the hopes that you will keep them to yourself, but maybe because you broke up or you're angry at the person, you decide to share those pictures or videos without their consent. Cyber stalking, online threats and harassment via social media and messaging platforms as well. Maybe you had a fallout with your roommate, and then your roommate starts spreading rumors on WhatsApp groups. They start writing really hateful and degrading things about you on social media. That is considered to be cyber harassment. And public shaming of victims often contributes to emotional trauma. Lastly, hate crimes against LGBTQIA+ students, so homophobic and transphobic violence, including verbal abuse, physical assaults, and sexual corrective rape towards individuals who are in the LGBTQIA+ community. And many LGBTQIA+ students often fear reporting incidents due to stigma or institutional inaction. I will say that, you know, UKZN definitely does pride itself in being a university that is inclusive, right? So students are welcome to express themselves and to be who they are, or to be themselves without fearing, you know, being victimized by other people. So this is a video.
If you're still struggling.
So this is a video regarding consent. I think it's difficult to have the conversation of GBV without speaking about consent and understanding what consent is. So please do pay attention to this video so that we can all have a better understanding of consent.
With consent, just imagine instead of initiating sex, you're making them a cup of tea. You say, "Hey, would you like a cup of tea?" And they go, "Oh my God, I would love a cup of tea, thank you." Then you know they want a cup of tea. If you say, "Hey, would you like a cup of tea?" And they're like, you know, I'm not really sure. Then you can make them a cup of tea, or not, but be aware that they might not drink it. And if they don't drink it, then, and this is the important bit, don't make them drink it. Just because you made it doesn't mean you're entitled to watch them drink it. And if they say, "No thank you," then don't make them tea. At all. Just don't make them tea. Don't make them drink tea. Don't get annoyed at them for not wanting tea. They just don't want tea, okay? They might say, "Yes, please, that's kind of you." And then when the tea arrives, they actually don't want the tea at all. Sure, that's kind of annoying as you've gone to all the effort of making the tea, but they remain under no obligation to drink the tea. They did want tea, now they don't. Some people change their mind in the time it takes to boil the kettle, brew the tea, and add the milk. And it's okay for people to change their mind, and you are still not entitled to watch them drink it. And if they are unconscious, don't make them tea. Unconscious people don't want tea, and they can't answer the question, "Do you want tea?" because they're unconscious. Okay, maybe they were conscious when you asked them if they wanted tea, and they said yes, but in the time it took you to boil the kettle or brew the tea and add the milk, they are now unconscious. You should just put the tea down, make sure the unconscious person is safe, and this is the important part again, don't make them drink the tea. They said yes then, sure, but unconscious people don't want tea. If someone said yes to tea, started drinking it, and then passed out before they'd finished it, don't keep on pouring it down their throat. Take the tea away. Make sure they are safe, because unconscious people don't want tea. Trust me on this. If someone said yes to tea around your house last Saturday, that doesn't mean they want you to make them tea all the time. They don't want you to come around to their place unexpectedly and make them tea and force them to drink it, going, "But you wanted tea last week," or to wake up to find you pouring tea down their throat going, "But you wanted tea last night." If you can understand how completely ludicrous it is to force people to have tea when they don't want tea, and you are able to understand when people don't want tea, then how hard is it to understand when it comes to sex? Whether it's tea or sex, consent is everything. And on that note, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea.
Mm. Yes, so I'm seeing a lot of reactions on the side with regards to that video, and I'm sure there are some comments on it. I mean, it's a really simple way of explaining consent, but it really is that simple. If somebody doesn't want tea, if somebody doesn't consent to sex, then don't force somebody to engage in that sexual activity. And if somebody comes to, for example, if you invited someone to your room to watch Netflix, that does not immediately say that now we're going to engage, in sexual activity. They probably just want to come and watch Netflix. That really is. So consent is very clear, it's voluntary, and it's an enthusiastic agreement to engage in specific activities. So remember that a person needs to say yes to the activity. Don't assume. Don't assume that just because I'm inviting you over to my room to Netflix and chill, then we're going to have sex. It needs to be clear, it needs to be voluntary, meaning that the person needs to give it of free will. There shouldn't be any pressure to consent, there shouldn't be any threats or intimidation or persistency to consent. And it needs to be enthusiastic. The person genuinely needs to say yes. So it needs to be informed, mutual, and remember that consent can be withdrawn at any time. So just because they said yes to something doesn't mean that they don't have the right to say no or change their mind. So it needs to be freely given without any pressure, manipulation, or under the influence of substances. It can be reversed. So you can change your mind. So maybe I said yes the first time. Okay, then now I don't want to. Now the person doesn't want to carry on or engage in further activities. And it needs to be informed. So all parties need to have the information about what the activity involves. It needs to be enthusiastic. It should be a positive, excited yes, not just the absence of a no. So it needs to, as I was saying, it needs to be a positive, excited yes, not a yes because, okay, because you've been asking me, let me just say yes. It needs to be a very enthusiastic yes. And it needs to be specific. So agreeing to one activity doesn't mean consent for other activities. So these are some of the steps that you may take if you are experiencing or have experienced gender-based violence on campus. So number one, you need to ensure safety. So get to a safe place, whether that safe place is with another friend at risk, or going back home, or going to a relative around Durban, but please make sure that you get to a safe place and seek medical help. So, and this is going to help with collecting forensic evidence, especially in cases of rape. So yeah, seek medical help, report the incidents to either the police or university authorities. We have risk management services, which is the security that is here on campus. So you can report an incident to them as well, and they will be able to contact the police and contact other relevant stakeholders who may be able to assist you. Seek emotional help. This is extremely important. So I know that it's very difficult to speak about, being in abusive relationships or having experienced, an incident of sexual assault, but it's important to seek emotional support, because as has been mentioned that, therapy is confidential and it's private, and your therapist will be able to support you and help you explore any feelings and emotions that you may have. So it's important to seek help and support as soon as possible. So these are some of the resources, or these are some of the resources that you can reach out to. As I mentioned, RMS It's the risk management services, the security that is on campus. All campuses have RMS, so they can be your first point of contact where you report an incident of TPV to them, and they'll be able to contact relevant stakeholders. We also have student support services, as has been mentioned, that we are here to provide you and assist you with any emotional support. We also have TASU, which have programs on GPV programs. They also assist with HIV and AIDS counseling and testing as well. We also have the campus health clinic. So if you're not comfortable with going to a hospital, the nurses and the professionals at campus health clinic may be able to assist you. And we also have Tutuzela care centers where we do refer students to them as well. They assist students with any who have been raped, and they provide support to students as well. We also have outside organizations that you can contact. Please do take note of them. So you have Power, and all of these organizations, they do have 24/7 helplines. So if you don't feel comfortable with contacting anyone within the university, you are more than welcome also to contact the outside organization as well. So it's important to remember that you are not alone. There are a lot of resources, as I have mentioned, that are there to help you and to assist you if you ever experience gender-based violence on campus. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gwambe, for that very enlightening presentation. I think every single first-year student is feeling empowered to stand up against sexual and gender violence and put an end to it. So remember that UKZN condemns any form of sexual and gender violence, and we have strong disciplinary rules and regulations to preserve the human rights, safety, and security of all students. So we must all work together to stand up against SGBV and put an end to it. So students, we've come to an end to our presentation. The slide in front of you contains all of our links and contact details. So please take a screenshot of that. We also want to say a sincere thank you to the teaching and learning team, the public relations team, and the SSS team for organizing the FYE presentation this week. I'm sure that you already feeling quite confident and secure about the resources, about your lectures, and there are lots of questions. And I'm sure if your question has not been answered today, that it will be answered in due course. But it's really about continuing to ask the questions, sharing the knowledge. Lots of sharing happened here. Thank you so much to all of the students who have shared information. You have a sterling example of human beings that represent the integrity and warmth and sharing and love that we really want at UKZN. So first year students, thank you. And thank you for listening, for engaging. We want to encourage you to take advantage of the resources, to prioritize your mental health as you progress through your studies. And we wish you all a rewarding and successful experience. I know that, Ayanda, there is time for, I'm not sure if there is time for questions. Please let us know. Thank you.
Sarah, we are at 12 o'clock, so and there's not much hands. I don't see any hands actually that are up, or maybe we have one.
One, yes.
Maybe I can unmute and allow her to ask a question.
Oh, I'm a guy. But anyway, I just want to ask something in regards to the timetable. If you guys, can you guys help me with that?
Shall we have someone from teaching and learning that can assist you, Colin?
All right, thank you. So, when I made my timetable and I chose the blocks, I ensured that there wasn't any clashes, you know, the alphabets. But then when I went back to, you know, do my timetable, I noticed that there were clashes, and that wasn't by fault of me. I made sure that there weren't similar alphabets. So see, like my ISTN for business is A, and my management is also A. But at the start, I chose A and E, but automatically, I don't know why, decided to change it to AA. So I'm not too sure if that's not going to be a problem for when I'm going to campus next week or what.
Thank you for that question, Colin. I'm sure there are others who have had similar concerns.
Yes, yes.
Bongeka, I'm not sure if Bongeka can respond to that.
So while we wait for Bongeka, I think this matter was also addressed yesterday, in yesterday's session where we had students that had clashes on their timetables. I advise that if it still pertains that you like contact your relevant departments, maybe they can be able to assist. Maybe let's also hear from Bongeka.
Thank you, Ayanda. Yes, you can ask your lecturer. They're gonna advise you what you can do about that.
All right, thank you. And one more thing, I haven't received a mentor yet, and I have no idea where I'm going to be going next week for lectures. So, what's the plan forward there?
Okay, so the reason why most of you have not received your mentors is because we have not received the list of all the first year students. But then, so if you have an issue next week Monday, we're gonna have an information desk and a campus tour on campus. So if you're from Westville, it's gonna be at the quad. Also, if you're from Howard, it's gonna be next to the White Cave. And then if you're from Pietermaritzburg, it's gonna be in the Pietermaritzburg loans. So you can just go there from Monday to Thursday. We will be there to assist you in anything that you need.
All right, thank you. So even if I get lost, it doesn't matter because I mean it's my first time going, so I wouldn't know now where to go. But
Yes,
thank you. All right. Perfect.
Thank you so much, Bongeka. I think, colleagues, we have reached the end of our session. Thank you so much for this fruitful and very informative session with your office. Students, I have put on the chat box that if you did miss any sessions or wish to listen to the recordings again, there are links that I did direct you to where you can access the recordings. The recordings are not uploaded as yet, but they will be uploaded before the end of this week, just to make sure that you can, still go back to how you can select your subjects and all those timetable issues. And I understand some of you have also had problems with your emails and all those issues. So you can go back and watch at those recordings which had happened during the course of this week. So for now, it's a goodbye from us, and thank you so much for being with us throughout this journey.